What's up, everybody, and welcome to another video with WolfBlade. Before I get into the reading, I wanted to share you guys a video. I went to go to the Elizabeth Catholic Church over on Belterre, and it was an experience. Let's just say that. I'll show you the video here in a second, but I want to give y'all a preview before I show you. When I went in there, because I wanted to go to a body of people to bring them out to Sabbath church, a church that I'm going to create by myself with the meet and greets and whatnot, sharing everything equally, no one more than another, you know, what's said in the Bible. So I went to go to this Catholic church because these two girls invited me to the church, and I was like, oh, why not? A week later, I go to the church. Yesterday, I went to the Elizabeth Catholic Church because I wanted to join a service, you know? And if everybody knows me well, I don't remove any of my face items like glasses, hat, and mask. That's not the problem. I went in there and it looked way too professional. It's way too much stuff. Immediately, I asked the guy, the young dude that worked the front, I said, do I have to sign up or to go in and sit down? He's like, oh, you can go in and sit down. So I go in and I sit in the back. When you see how big this Catholic church is, it's huge. Huge. Here's the thing is their church looks like it's been like money literally through like was thrown at it, like in bundles. Like you can't mistake it. Look around. If you're a part of that church, look around. You're not at the right church. If your church has concrete statues, specifically of like in metal statues, it's like, come on, bro. We all know what that is. But that's a part of the problem. So one of the Jews or Romans, whoever worked the front, this church is meant for Jews and Roman Catholics, by the way, because that's all I saw throughout there was all the men who looked like they're part of the Jew cults under the grounds of New York and stuff like that. Those are the type of people that look like are in there. And only those, only gray hair and bald heads, shaved faces, and white beard, no color. All I see is white heads, like a flood of them, all the way down the rows. A flood of white and bald heads. When I was pulled out from the back, this guy pulled me out from the back. He said, you gotta take your hat off. He didn't ask, I had the mask on, I had the glasses on. He didn't want to search my backpack or nothing like that. The only problem is the hat. Because in their world, they're not in the real community with us and the police officers. They're not focused on that stuff. What they're focused on is you removing your cap so they can sap you of all your power. That's why only the most elite wear the caps. So in the middle of the head, remember the Aztecs, when you die, they cut off your head and they believe if they cut the middle of your skull and they can release the evil spirits from it. It'll no longer be a part of the skull. That's why they wear the caps. So they don't get the power drawn from them. That's why Trump and all that are still in high power. Now, when they pulled me out of the back, they put me into the booth. And when they put me into the booth, they said, you can just sit here. Usually what we do is people don't take off their hats. We have to tell them to leave. I was like, why is that? It sounds like discrimination. Because in some religions, you're not supposed to remove your hat. And he tried looking around, seeing what he could do. He tried going around to the people, talking to the people in their ears and stuff, pointing at me and stuff like that. Like, you're not supposed to tell somebody to remove the clothing if I say it's a part of a religious practice that I am doing, or if it's, something else. I'm not letting nobody draw my power. That's probably why nobody can do nothing about me. They can't draw my power. So he kept talking to the dudes, and he came back, and he finally came up with an excuse. He's like, you can go up to the Father and ask and talk to him about it and stuff like that. I have to talk to the Father to be able to join the service. That's what it sounds like to me. After the first song ended, and during that first song, they had a little girl carrying out a long rotted cross with Ephraim's star in the middle of it. Come to find out, it's Ephraim's star. The sun god is what they were worshiping. And guess what? When they had a concrete statue up on the wall, praise Jesus, I saw this. When I looked up on the wall of the entire room that they were having the service in, they don't have a cross and they don't have a statue of Jesus. You know what they have a statue of? A shaved-faced man that looks like he's dashing down with one foot to land. That looks like Satan. That was Satan on the wall. Everybody's so oblivious by the riches and by the ceremonies and by the rods and crosses they're carrying. They don't look at the symbols. They don't look at the statues. They don't look at the structure. They don't look at the money. Their mind is way past it because it's way too detailed for them to know. But the adults know exactly what's going on. The children, they're confused. They just think, oh, this is most holy of holy. No, my friends. No. So then after that, he was like, oh, you need to go from the booth. Somebody needs to sit there and stuff like that. I was like, okay. So I go out, and there was a man. You probably see it in the video, and it's very funny. There's a man, and he's like literally like listening to me. He's like intrigued. He's like a middle-aged man. He looked like the owner of the Hot Ones TV show. It was kind of funny. He was so intrigued about what I was talking about. I was talking about what they had in there. The Satan that's on the wall, the long rotted cross with the Ephraim star. I was saying Jacob's star. I thought that's what it could be either one, but either way, it's not worshiping Jesus. I went to the front. They don't have a cross or Jesus inside of the church. They only have the star and Satan inside of the church. Guess what they have outside the church in the front? On display, kind of like if they were laughing or mocking. And no one puts... Let me just say this. It was a bronze statue, or wooden statue, something, of Jesus on the cross with Inri on it. Inri on the top of it. They were mocking Jesus in that church. That's what their plan is. They're mocking Jesus. Jesus is outside of the church on a cross, and they're mocking. Satan and the star is inside the church with the people. They're basically, because water mimics image, they're basically trying to make that come true. Jesus being excluded from the people and the people being with Satan and the star. I mean, you're going to get what you deserve if you don't listen. Now that you know, if you keep on going into those services, that's on you. They're going to take your soul. That's their plan. So, I went around the back and they had Ferguson statue as well. Why would you have a Ferguson statue? Why would you have a statue of any other man that is not a part of the Bible? Who was Ferguson, by the way? Wasn't that one of the people who started America or something like that? I still didn't look it up yet, but I'm about to look it up. But yeah, after that, I pretty much left, and then I was like, what other service can I join? So, mind you, it's only 9 in the morning, 9:30. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go see if any other churches are open. So I go to the marketplace on Cypress, and I go look for churches because I know there's about at least 2 or 3. And I see Voyage, and I've been seeing it for a long time. God's been like having that image in my mind. Voyage, 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 Voyage. Out of every other church. And it's the smallest church I've seen. It's just in a little shopping center. You know? The smallest church ever. I don't go to big building churches with the big cross on it and stuff like that. It's always messed up. It's always messed up somehow. So I go to this Voyage church. And it was perfect. The teachings, the greetings, it wasn't fake. Nobody was staging anything. Everybody was like so adamant about helping people. We actually have a list of like things we do, like missions we gotta do, like outreach, and they got the cafe, they got the cleaning of the thing, which the women pretty much take care of, which is awesome. And it's the people that, and when I went there, I found my specific people that God's people kept telling me to go find, that these people they want me to meet. And I happened to just be at the place where the people God wanted me to meet were. The guy with the wolf tattoo, this other guy who made a poem on my YouTube channel. He made a poem on my YouTube channel. That guy, he's on the thumbnail too. He's one of my recent videos. He told me, hey, you remind me of my friend, Wolf. He has a wolf tattoo, or someone. He had a wolf tattoo. And I went to the church, and he's like, oh, you're the guy. I have the wolf tattoo. I was like, no way. I was absolutely shocked. It's like God's divine perfect plan was just set for me, just boom, right there. And this other dude that greeted me first, he was really nice. He said, you can sit with my family if you want, with my wife and stuff, and join the service with us. And I was like, this is the most welcoming church I've ever been to in my entire life. My entire life. I'm not kidding. This is the only church I've been to, and I'm from the north. And you know how the north is, but we have to be fake and stuff because we're small town people. So everybody else was fake, and you know, every other church I've always been to, fake smile. These are the type of people that, you know, these are the type of churches that you should be going to. Don't go to no big church with all this, oh, they got this giant long rotted staff and giant statues. You know how much money that costs? You know how much scheming they would have to do to be able to afford that stuff? No, my friend, don't go there. Don't do it. It's not worth your time. It's not worth your soul. Go to the smaller people. The smaller group of people are the ones that are actually real and trying to make it. These people are struggling, and they told us all of their payments that they have to do. And they said, we just hit the mark, barely, just to keep this open for at least 6 more months. So if you guys can, go to the Voyage Church. Help the Voyage Church. They're the most real church in this city here. I'm telling you. I've been to a lot of churches, and knowing what I know and knowing what I preached, you guys knowing what I preach, I know, and you guys should also know what to be looking for.
So my first time being in a church after some time, and they pulled me to the side. I guess because I'm wearing a hat and I'm wearing a mask and stuff. I thought they welcomed everybody inside of a church. So this is my experience why I don't go to Sunday churches. Because they discriminate, and because they won't, and I have to take off my hat. That's not what Jesus would have wanted. So if there has to be rules and regulations, everybody should know. If they need to search me, they can search me. Do whatever they need to do. They should not stop me from joining the service. I think they're scared just because I preach about the real man and not about religion. And this is a Roman Catholic church. So, this is, everybody immediately started looking at me and started getting scared because they know I'm the man that teaches the true religion about the man himself and not the Catholic fake religion. How you doing? Fake smiles everywhere just to keep hiding what they're hiding. They're discriminating because I'm wearing a hat and because I'm wearing a mask. I pulled down my mask when I came in to show them, hey, y'all see my face? So either I'm waiting for a sheriff or they're making me sit here for the service, which is crazy. This is crazy. And I noticed that they have a statue of what looks like Satan. It doesn't even look like Jesus. And there's the man that did it. So I'm gonna bring this to the police too and have this all figured out. The reason why they're separating me is because there's a lot of Jews and real Romans in here, and they don't want me being close to them seeing what they do. I'm gonna record every single person, everybody, because this is despicable. This is this is going to be my new thing for YouTube. This is going to be my new thing for YouTube. Is I'm going to go into every church and expose all of them. I'm gonna expose all of them. That's my Hello, sir. How you doing? That dude up there had sit me out here for the service. He said, "Can you sit out here?" I was like, I asked him nicely up front, the young man up there, if I can.
What's going on? Why are you so hyper about what's...
I'm not hyper. Are you okay?
I'm all right.
All right. Is there a reason why you're close to me?
You're all covered up like it's winter out here.
It is winter out here.
It's sad.
Yeah, I'm still cold. Yeah, and got a sickness, so I don't want to get everybody else sick. In some religions, you're supposed to keep the hat on.
Not in Catholic Church.
In Catholic Church? Well, that's their religion. I keep mine to myself.
You should be here.
Ooh, so I get it. So I have to be Catholic to be here.
Well, you're gonna come to our church. You have to follow our rules.
I gotta follow their rules.
Other churches or other religions.
So I'm being discriminated for how I look and what I wear.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
You're not being discriminated.
Yeah.
We have our rules.
I told you why I have to have it on. I told you why I have to have this on.
But if you come to a Catholic church, you have to go by their rules. Father will talk to you if you like.
Father.
Any questions? This is our pastor right here.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Okay.
All right. You have a very nice day, sir. I think I know why. It's because they're trying to sap you of your energy when you go into their service. It's something spiritual. There's something spiritual, physical going on with the rules and stuff like that. And I can't take off my hat because I have to do my hair all again. It's long. Not gonna do that. Some religions, you're not supposed to take off your hat. He said, "You're getting all hyper. I'm sitting in one spot, sir. I'm recording myself. You got any business with me? If you don't, go back to your job." They're not supposed to tell you what you do with your own clothes, because that is sexual harassment. I've looked up every single law. There's nothing dangerous about me. They didn't even want to go check my stuff or anything like that for having a hat on, if it's really that important. And they say, "Yes, sir," instead of amen. And they do the upside down crosses too. They don't do the right side up crosses across the forehead. They do it across the chest. And they're talking about how they can get rid of me or what they can do about me.
You told us come out here because you removed your hat.
Huh?
The reason why they sent you out here instead of in the church, because you probably wouldn't remove your hat.
Gotcha. Is that this their...
That's their thing, yeah.
Gotcha.
That's part of the religion.
But if it is my, you know,
No, it's
they
not
can't
you.
tell me to
It's
take
not
it
you.
off.
They ask you to remove the hat, you don't do it, and then they ask you to leave.
Gotcha. And they're carrying the whole fake big cross and everything, that Jew Roman thing with the star on it. Hey, God bless. And they're carrying a giant rod with the cross on it with a Jacob star in the middle. That's not good. Now it's time. How you doing, sir? God bless. Let's look at these statues, shall we? They have, and he's probably texting his buddy. This is actually, it's a pretty good statue of Jesus. It says Inri on it, which is King of Jews. And then they have this statue in the back. Who is that? Who is that, guys? Who's that? In loving memorial of Charles Ferguson. I'm gonna do some research on Charles Ferguson. I'll be back. I forgot who that man was. So it looks like this church that I'm at right now, the Voyage, over in Palm Coast, off of Belterra, Cyprus. This is actually a really welcoming, really good church. I would actually suggest this more than the last one. Nobody's discriminating me for nothing, and it's wonderful. It's a good church. I would suggest this one more than that Elizabeth Catholic. They sent out 2 young females to try to get me to go to the church and stuff like that. When I went to church immediately, they weren't talking about the mask. They didn't talk about the backpack or how scary I looked or nothing like that. Nothing. They pulled me out of the main room for wearing a hat in the Elizabeth Catholic Church. So, yep, this is where it's at.
Now, let's get into the reading.
Alright, after exposing that Catholic Church, it's time to get into the reading. Towns for the Levites. On the plains of Moab by the Jordan across from Jericho, the Lord said to Moses, "Command the Israelites to give the Levites towns to live in from the inheritance the Israelites will possess, and give them pasture lands around the towns. Then they will have towns to live in and pasture lands for the cattle they own and all their other animals. The pasture lands around the towns that you give the Levites will extend 1,000 cubits from the town hall. Outside the town hall measure 2,000 cubits on the east side, 2,000 cubits on the south side, 2,000 on the west, and 2,000 on the north, with the town in the center. They will have this area as pasture land for the towns. Cities of refuge. 6 of the towns you give the Levites will be cities of refuge to which a person who has killed someone may flee. In addition, give them 42 other towns. In all, you must give the Levites 48 towns, together with their pasture lands. The towns you give the Levites from the land the Israelites possess are to be given in proportion to the inheritance of each tribe. Take many towns from a tribe that has many but few from one that has few." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, when you cross the Jordan into Canaan, select some towns to be your cities of refuge, to which a person who has killed someone accidentally may flee. They will be places of refuge from the avenger, so that anyone accused of murder may not die before they stand trial before the assembly. These 6 towns you give will be your cities of refuge. Give 3 of this side of the Jordan and 3 in Canaan as cities of refuge. These 6 towns will be places of refuge for Israelites and for foreigners residing among them, so that anyone who has killed another accidentally can flee there. If anyone strikes someone with a fatal blow with an iron object, that person is a murderer. The murderer is to be put to death. Or if anyone holding a stone and strikes someone a fatal blow with it, that person is a murderer. The murderer is to be put to death.
Or if anyone is holding a wooden object and strikes someone with a fatal blow with it, that person is a murderer. The murderer is to be put to death. The avenger of blood shall be the murderer to death. When the avenger comes upon the murderer, the avenger shall put the murderer to death. If anyone with malice aforethought shoves another or throws something at them intentionally, so that they may die, or if of enmity, the person hits another with their fist so that the other dies, that person is to be put to death. That person is a murderer. The avenger of blood shall be the murderer of death when they meet. But if without enmity someone suddenly pushes another or throws something at them unintentionally, or without seeing them drops on them a heavy stone enough to kill them, and they die, then since that other person was not an enemy and no harm was intended, the assembly must judge between the accused and the avenger of blood according to these regulations. The assembly must protect the one accused of murder from the avenger of blood and send the accused back to the city of refuge to which they fled. The accused must stay there until the death of the high priest who was anointed with the holy oil. But if the accused ever goes outside the limits of the city of the refuge which they fled, and the avenger of blood still finds them outside the city, the avenger of blood may kill the accused without being guilty of murder. The accused must stay in the city of refuge until the death of high priest. Only after the death of the high priest may they return to their own property. This is to have the force of law for you throughout the generations to come, wherever you live. Anyone who kills a person is to be put to death as a murderer only on the testimony of witnesses. But no one is to be put to death on the testimony of only one witness. Do not accept a ransom for the life of a murderer. He deserves to die. They are to be put to death. Do not accept a ransom for anyone who has fled into a city of refuge, and so allow them to go back and live on their land before the death of the high priest. Do not pollute the land where you are. Bloodshed pollutes the land. An atonement cannot be made for the land on which blood has been shed. That's why America is satanic, because when they first started here, they had to spill blood of many armies for sport. That way nobody can make a holy site for the Lord, so then they can go on with their schemes as the Rothschilds did. Except by the blood of the one who shed it. Do not defile the land where you live and where I dwell. For I, the Lord, dwell among the Israelites. Inheritance of Zelophehad's daughters. The family heads of the clan of Gilead, son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, who were from the clans of the descendants of Joseph, came and spoke before Moses and the leaders, the heads of the Israelite families. They said, when the Lord commanded my Lord to give the land as an inheritance to the Israelites by lot, he ordered you to give the inheritance of our brother Zelophehad to his daughters. Now suppose they marry men from other Israelite tribes, then their inheritance will be taken from our ancestral inheritance and added to that of the tribe they marry into, so part of the inheritance allotted to us will be taken away. When the year of Jubilee for the Israelites comes, their inheritance will be added to the tribe into which they marry, and their property will be taken from the tribal inheritance of our ancestors. Then, at the Lord's command, Moses gave this order to the Israelites: what the tribe of the descendants of Joseph is saying is right. This is what the Lord commands for Zelophehad's daughters: that they may marry anyone who please, as long as they marry within their father's tribal clan. No inheritance in Israel is to pass from one tribe to another, for every Israelite shall keep the tribal inheritance of their ancestors. Every daughter who inherits the land in any Israelite tribe must marry someone in her father's tribal clan, so that every Israelite will possess the inheritance of their ancestors. No inheritance may pass from one tribe to another, for each Israelite tribe is to keep the land it inherits. So Zelophehad's daughters did as the Lord commanded Moses. Zelophehad's daughters, Mahlah, Tirzah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Noah, married their cousins on their father's side. They married within the clans of the descendants of Manasseh, son of Joseph, and their inheritance remained in their father's tribe and clan. These are the commands and regulations the Lord gave through Moses to the Israelites on the plains of Moab by the Jordan across from Jericho. Now, we are now getting into Deuteronomy. So, I'm going to get to that one in the next video.